Hey, welcome to Fix It for Josh's Sake. Today I've got a 1975 Arctic Cat Panther. I'm going to pull the secondary clutch off of this, so come along as I fix it for Josh's sake. Here's the clutch I want to take off. There's the clutch bolt we need to get out. But in order to get that access, we're going to take the carburetor off here. So we're going to be getting at a nut there and a nut, well, right down there. And to have better access at those nuts, I'm going to take out this flat-headed screw and that flat-headed screw. Alright, that's going to let me pull the choke and the throttle cable out of these linkages. There's that one. And there's that one. If you're like me and you want to get full access, I take this nut off, or at least I attempt to. Looks like we need some penetrating oil to get in there and break that loose. In order to get that nut off, you just want to flick that throttle lever down like that. And that gives you access to rotate the nut with your 1/2-inch open-end wrench. This side actually has better access. You can see how the wrench just gets right in there and we're able to spin that off. Not too difficult. If it is jammed, if they are stuck or seized or whatever, don't be afraid to be liberal with some penetrating oil. And once those nuts are gone, this whole unit just slides back and out of the way. And now we have access to that bolt right there. There's going to be one more detail, though, to getting this clutch off. And that is, we're going to need to take this brake caliper off because that is holding this part of the clutch, which is a part of the brake. So once that caliper is removed, then the whole clutch will slide off that way. Taking that brake caliper off is just a 1/2-inch nut right there or under there, and then there's 2 1/2-inch bolts right there. Once all of that's loose, then that clutch can go that way off of the clutch shaft that's inside of this chain case. As I'm eyeing this up, I think this arm right here that came up to the brake cable, it's going to be in the way, and it's going to hit the shield right here. So I'm going to pull this 1/2-inch nut right there, and once that's off, that arm will come off, and then the whole caliper can go that way when it follows the clutch that way. I'm almost ready to pull this bolt out, but before I do, I'm going to roll this belt over top of the clutch, and it's kind of a pain. It takes 2 hands, but it's got to roll over top that way. Then it falls down in and can get out of the way for us. So we're on a 1/2-inch bolt kick. Here's the impact driver. Just going to go right on the face of this clutch here and pull that nut out, or that bolt out. And there it's free. All right. So, yeah, I knew this. There's a steering column right there. The clutch hits it, and you can see it maxes out right there. So I'm going to take out the 6 bolts or 1/2-inch bolts that hold this faceplate on. Then this faceplate will come off and we'll get inside of here and we'll be able to move the bearing in there. And hopefully we can pull the shaft this way, which allows the clutch to come out that way. All right, the cover is off and I'm going to pop this 1/2-inch bolt and pull the sprocket off. Well, that project came to a screeching halt. You see, as soon as we pulled the sprocket, we saw that the bearing was broken, the collar was seized on, and we couldn't get anything to come loose. And the fact of the matter is we just took it to the shop and tore it all apart, including the track came out, which means the skid came out. And then that's how the track can fall down. And then you got to pull the drivers for the track out. And when everything is said and done, just to get that clutch off, that secondary clutch, we had to pull the track, the suspension, the axle, to get the crankcase off to take off that clutch. So if you do need to work on your secondary clutch in a way where it needs to be removed, just go ahead and plan on there's about a 50% chance that you'll need to do a pretty big overhaul. If the bearings and the collars are good, you can crack the collars with an Allen wrench and you can slide them right off. Our situation was way different, and we pretty much threw our hands up and just started going to town and tearing everything apart, and I stopped videotaping. So sometimes it goes that way, but up until that point, I'm glad you watched, and at some point I put the camera down and I just start working, getting greasy, and don't have time to rag off my hands and wash my hands to grab the phone again and take another photo. It's kind of how today went. We got it all torn apart and to a good spot in about 2 hours, but it was kind of a crummy project to realize that things didn't go as I had planned. At the end of the day, I hope your things go better, but it's not always that way. Sometimes you just got to plan for the worst and just brace yourself for it, you know? So thanks for watching. Fix It for Josh's sake. Maybe you learned a little bit, maybe you didn't, but if you liked what I did and what I'm doing here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, or share it with a friend. All right, have a great day.